It's like, what are two habits you wish every person who sat at a desk did better, Yashar?
I totally thought you were gonna go to Pat first. Okay.
Glad
Two,
to-
two habits that they would do better at while sitting at a desk. One would be the idea that Pat brought up about the height of the computer screen. I think so much of our gizmos and gadgets, promote a downward looking. So at least if you can bring the computer screen up to eye level, then that by just functionality brings you up a little bit more, tucks the chin in a bit more. I think that's the one thing I would ask everyone just kind of pay attention to. And the other thing, it's going to sound repetitive, but just spend time taking inventory of the way you sit and the way you move or don't move, and pick one or two moments, or if you have to, put an alarm on your phone that goes off that forces you to get up and do something. Just bring attention and awareness to where you're at and build from there, because again, it'll be different for everyone.
Or you can keep your little board and communications cue cubes at your desk to remind you, because I need those for my brain too. Even with the best of intentions, I can forget to hydrate or breathe or any of those things. So I keep cue cubes. I have them all over my desk as reminders. So it's good. I don't use my alarm, but I totally respect that that's sometimes what we need to interrupt ourselves. And raising the monitors are a really good thing. It really does make a difference. And even changing it a little bit sometimes too. Pat, your two things.
Well, it's interesting on the monitoring thing, because I remember a few years ago when I was doing a presentation at a pretty significant, it was actually a police, regional police headquarters. And we had all the managers in of the place, and we're doing this presentation on the chairs, and the conversation of the alarms came up. And one of the managers said it took her like 3 days to figure out how to turn that alarm off. So sometimes the alarms work for some people. And I think for a lot of people, it's really just kind of tuning in, being aware of what they're doing and why they're doing it. Should I be doing this, or should I get a different job? And kind of putting yourself first and figuring out what's best for me. So I echo what Yashar said about positioning. I think when you're stuck in a cubicle in a static position, it's so important to make sure that you're in a good position and keep changing it. And I would add to the hydration for the reasons that you mentioned, and all the other things that stimulate movement, whether it's a walking meeting, walking while you're talking on your phone, or getting up and going to talk to somebody, instead of sending them a text message or an email. So, but I think awareness of yourself, your body, is probably the most important thing if you can get somebody to get there.
I love that. It's beautiful that at the end of every conversation on wellness intelligence, I feel like we usually go full circle, and there's always that beautiful comment that comes back to, honoring yourself or honoring the soil. Those are sort of two things. It's like right back to nature. And I really appreciate both of you. And I think, for the most part, if somebody chooses to, that they can walk away from this conversation with so many ways that they can optimize how they are at work, whether that's with the people or hydrating, moving, and just to know that both Yashar and Pat have been interviewed as Good Humans of the Week. So there's so much more that you can read when you are on the screen. And at the hour mark of this conversation, I guess that is tune where it's like, we better all get up and move a little bit before we have our next element of the day. And for anyone listening, now's your time to do an exercise snack. How long? It's up to you. It could be 30 seconds. It could be 10 minutes. It could be an hour.